Hello, day 135 of Hey, What Are You Doing Today? What a long, strange trip it's been. Putting into action some of the things that I'm learning, and not trying to be defeated by some of the things that I'm learning. What I mean by that is, as I've gone through these 134, working on 135 days now, I've noticed some big weaknesses in my character, some big weaknesses in how my emotions run who I am, those kind of factors. And I'm not letting that get me down. I'm grateful to be aware of those weaknesses, and I'm grateful to be making changes and correcting those weaknesses and correcting that situation. The reason I bring that up is because I was having a pretty good day, and then my mind started going into these kind of negative thoughts or negative reactions that are brought on by the job that I'm doing, and something that before would have totally ruled the day, so to speak. But once I got in a bad frame of mind, I stayed in that bad frame of mind and dwelled on those negative emotions and dwelled on the thoughts. And I noticed that in my work I get bombarded with a lot of negative thoughts that pertain to my job or reactions from people or people I work with or clients, those kind of things. And they can beat you up pretty good. They can beat me up pretty good. And it was interesting because I started feeling myself slipping into that old mentality today. And I got up, I walked away from the situation. The first thing that I noticed, I went and I had just some watermelon slices, and just to take in some fruit. All of a sudden, right as I was eating that fruit, kind of created kind of a relaxation, kind of created I get that refreshing feeling that I think I mentioned before in some videos that I wasn't accustomed to before, because I was not a fruit eater by any means. But all of a sudden now, I'm in a bad situation, or a situation that has a negative feel to it and having a negative effect on me, and I take myself out of the situation, and fruit seems to be almost an immediate response to a change in the negative energy that's going on in my brain. And then just the whole idea of letting the emotion be fluid, letting it pass through me, not dwelling on it, and kind of letting it come in and letting it go out. It's still the old me. I can still feel it. I can still feel the negative energy kind of hanging on, but it doesn't have much of a grip anymore. It's I can pretty confidently, if I quit talking about it now and quit thinking about it, I'm pretty sure it'll go away. So the only reason it's still with me is because I'm considering it in this little discourse that I'm having here. So I'm going to step away from that, but I just want to bring that up. Just another progress that I'm noticing. Yesterday's video, I mentioned that I wanted to start working on my my memory capacity and start really going into that side of things. I'm also, just any kind of mental strength training, looking at it as there's a lot of stuff out there now as far as working out the brain, much like you work out the physical body. And I've caught bits and pieces of it here and there, and never really looked into it that much. It's something that I still have. I looked at it a little bit this morning. But what was interesting is right after I said that, I was going through some of my. One of the tools I use is, of course, YouTube has a huge amount of a huge wealth of knowledge. A person could literally spend 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for probably who knows how long. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of years, just constantly learning things from different things that are put on YouTube. But anyway, so I was going through my library of videos I've saved or videos I've come back to, and all of a sudden one of the options was a video that said something about it was an audio book on training the memory. Like, what the hell? What are the odds of that? That's the funny little coincidence that the ether provides us with at times. I've mentioned that before, and I strongly believe there is something to that, and you put it out there, and all of a sudden here it is. Here's something to listen to on memory. So I spent the part of this morning today listening to that. Didn't get a whole lot out of it. I gotta go back and open it back up again. I guess it wasn't. Sometimes it's not what I'm expecting, and if it doesn't hit me right away, I don't take it in right away. It's another thing that I've got to work on and develop. Is really, you know, taking whatever it is it's telling me. But that was kind of an interesting thing that happened. And then this morning, I'll talk about two little accomplishments. 2 days ago, I got my trumpet, and I'm about as unmusically inclined with the trumpet as, you know, I was actually worse than I thought I would be. I remember, you know, messing around with the trumpet and making some noise when I was a kid or teenager. Not you know, not just a trumpet in the room, picking one up and blowing on it and being able to make some noise, but never really concentrated on the noise that I was making. And picked it up 2 days ago, and could not get a note out of it for the life of me. I could make some noise, some screeches and some funny sounding noises, but I couldn't, you know, I couldn't hit an open C. I looked into a little bit of the fingering on it, and I just could not develop a note. So I gave it probably about 20 minutes the first night, and then returned to it last night and gave it about 20 minutes, and I was so psyched. In 20 minutes, I went through the scale from C, D, E, F. I got to C, D, E, F, and was able to bring it back down, back to C. It's rough. It's pretty ugly, but I can hit that C note now. I can, you know, I'm starting to feel a way. There's a certain way that you know, the lips are supposed to fit into the mouthpiece and create the noise, and, you know, a certain level of strength of blowing that comes with the finger combination and all that. So, but anyway, that's a pretty big development in 2 days of practice. You know, first day I can't do anything, but I stick with it for 20 minutes. Second day I decided that all I wanted to do was get that C. You know, so I came home, I got the C. Once the C came to me after about 10 minutes of struggling with it, I took it to D, and then E, and then F, and you know, it was something that I can't just pick it up right now and do it again, but it's something that once I become more and more familiar, it's going to become stronger and stronger. But it's interesting because I'm seeing myself develop into a schedule. I mentioned a few videos back that I needed to start writing a schedule of my day, and my day in the middle of my day when I'm at work is kind of free-flowing, so it's a little bit difficult to follow a schedule. But what's funny is that my time on my own away from my job has developed into a very strict schedule, and I wasn't even really paying attention to it. You know, my alarm goes off at 6, I get up at 6. Actually today I got kind of excited. I'm really enjoying that time in the morning. It's still, you know, still a little bit difficult for me to just jump up at 6 o'clock and, you know, get out of bed. Sometimes I'm still occasionally hitting the snooze and sleeping 6:15, 6:30 in the morning. But then last night I made a mental note that I enjoy the mornings. You know, it's my time. It's peaceful. It's quiet. It's, you know, relax, study. You know, whatever I want to do. So I set my alarm at 5:30, and I actually got up. You know, as soon as my alarm, like, probably didn't even have one little note off of the music that plays on my alarm, and I was crawling out of bed, and I was excited. You know, now I get a whole hour in the morning from 5:30 to 6:30 before I really have to do anything. That hour was just nice. It was just good, you know. The world waking up. I'm at that time of year where the sun's just coming up at 5:30 where I live here, and, you know, I can look out over the water, and I can see the light break, and I can see the colors, and all of a sudden I can literally watch the sun pop up over the horizon and then bust over the water. It's just gorgeous. But just a peaceful time in the morning. So anyway, back to my schedule. So now it looks like my schedule is going to be 5:30 a.m. I get up. I have that kind of wake up time, relax time. I have a little glass of iced coffee that I made, and also a big bottle of water. First thing I do is get just a room temperature bottle of water and start drinking that. Now I'm incorporating coffee with that too, because I find that little bit of caffeine gives me a little bit more energy for the run and makes the run a little bit more enjoyable. But that's how things go. You know, I get up and I do that, and then the time comes. I do finally get the run in once I'm feeling good. Now, meanwhile, that 30 minutes to an hour, you know, I'm going over some notes, going over some daily things that I look at, some daily information, I write now I write my goals for the day. You know, a small list of goals that I hope to achieve. That's something that I actually just started doing. and then I, you know, just seeing them every day and, you know, putting them down, it kind of helps me to ingrain the things that I want to work on so much. And, you know, they could be something as simple as keeping a positive attitude, or not letting negative thoughts cross through my head, or not getting angry at anything. You know, just relatively simple things. But if I put it down as a goal, then when I'm in that situation and something comes up and, you know, I'm bothered or angry, and I can say, you know what, I'm not going to complete that goal today if I let this overcome me, if I let the, you know, if I let this negative thoughts come in, or whatever the case might be. It might even just be something as simple as, one of my things today is do something I don't want to do, you know, I found something that I wasn't real comfortable with, and I was like, well, shoot, I can take that off the list if that's my goal, if I just do it. So I just did it, and it, you know, it was one of the things too that, you know, it was easy once I did it. It was fun. You know, and then I do some things around the house that I need to in the morning before we get ready and go to work. On the drive to work now, listening to a biography of somebody, you know, right now I'm listening to Henry Ford. The last one I was listening to was Arnold Schwarzenegger. But just, you know, people that have had big accomplishments in their life, you know, that's you know, taking in their information, listening to what their lives were like, and, you know, and enjoying that. And then you know, I look over my notes and my tasks and things like that. And then I do the work thing where it's kind of open. I'm constantly studying, constantly seeking information while I'm working, and reviewing information and jotting down notes and all those kind of things. And then as I get off work, I drive to pick up the Luna and take us back home. And while I'm doing that, now I've incorporated listening to a gentleman that speaks about the stock market, just listening to business news, taking in that kind of information to see what's going on in the world of business. You know, how things are, you know, just that element of it. So that's my next step. Whatever I don't finish on his podcast, I listen to early in the morning while I'm in the shower. It's kind of a distraction, so that's left over as a morning thing. And then I get home, and by the time I get home, I lift weights for just very briefly. I have some dumbbells. I'm not real sure if they're 30 or 35 pounds. They're very old plastic sand-filled dumbbells, and I can't seem to find a proper marking on them. They feel like they might be 35, but I'm thinking they're probably 30-pound weights. But, you know, I'll work out different aspects of my biceps, triceps, shoulders, back, whatever I can, with just the limit of having 2 dumbbells, and of course incorporate some push-ups in there. And now after that, I go and make some ugly noise on a trumpet for 20 minutes. But it just, to me, you know, it's so much more productive. The day is, and that I have things that I want to do. I look forward to doing them, even though they're kind of menial and they're kind of repetitive tasks. They're tasks that I know I can judge and I can gauge and I can see the improvement. I can see that, you know, I can get a value from it. I can get excited about it, get lifted up by it. You know, when I go home today and I hit that ugly old trumpet again, you know, I mean, what if I improve as much as I did between those first 2 days? That'd be awesome. Then I could just jam away. I'd be, you know, but it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be an incremental thing where it keeps compounding. Much as what I'm doing now is, you know, I think that going through say the first 100 days was kind of a slow moving step, and then, you know, crossing into the second 100 days, I can feel the ball rolling those first 100 days, and now the second 100 days, it's really kind of getting along. You know, just everything is kind of falling into place. However, I haven't escaped the old me, and I'm fully aware of that. I don't think I was aware of that the first X amount of days. You know, that was a big part of it, that I had to outgrow myself, and that part's pretty tough. It's tough as a person to accept my faults, accept my weaknesses, you know, and see how I react, because sometimes I can only answer for myself, but I realize that, you know, my reactions are not under my control. I need to get them under my control, but they're almost like in that zombie state. I created these reactions that just seem normal, you know, complaining or tantrums, or not tantrums, but, you know, just different ways of things that I can't be proud of in terms of my reaction to to things, and it's just something that's been there in my life, and I was unaware of it, and how I am, and how I've learned to react now. Now I'm aware of it, and I'm like, wow, that's it's not such good stuff. So at least I'm aware of it. I think that's step one. You know, step two will be overcoming it. That also incorporates learning from it. That also incorporates learning how to overcome it. And then step three will be taking it to the next level from there. You know, just improving to a level I had no idea even existed. You know, just you know, the first part is recognizing that weakness, and then the second part is strengthening and overcoming that weakness, and then the third part is, holy cow, what is this new thing that's opening up? And what is this level that I wasn't anticipating? So hopefully I'll get to that level in the you know, by 200, you know, so I can spend the next 100 days kind of breaking into another level. Right now I'm in the level of overcoming myself, and then the first 100 days, let's say, we're becoming aware of it. This 100 days will be concentrated on overcoming it, and then the next 100 days will be concentrated into breaking that the next level. Now that's just a hypothesis. I don't know if there's any, you know, there's any truth to that, but that's what I'm hoping for, and that's you know. And then after day 300, that'll give me 65 whole days still to just go nuts. So anyway, but I'll leave it at that. It's day 135, and what a long, strange trip it's been. Hey, what are you doing today? Thanks.